Have you ever wanted to know about the future, love, dreams, money, sex and bodies?
Well, then you're in luck because we read tarot cards.
And we do it seriously.
We know we're being funny, but it's real. Real magic.
We used to be an Instagram live show.
And then a live show in front of an audience.
Yay! And now, a podcast.
So sit back, relax, and trust the process.
Welcome to The Tarot Show.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to our first little mini episode.
Yeah, it's a mini tarot show where we're going to be doing a deep dive.
Yeah, we're basically gonna go through each of the cards. We thought it'd be a good either refresher or maybe for those of you that are learning tarot and want to go, or even just if you pulled a card, you can come straight to the Fool and this is what we know about it.
Yeah, exactly. And our kind of like takes on it, what we associate with it, because I think that's like the beauty of the tarot.
Yeah.
Because everyone kind of ascribes their own
Yes.
experiences,
Yes.
feelings.
I was saying, yeah, in my research too, it's a lot about what the card can mean in a good context and what the card can mean in a, let's say, not so good context. And of course, we're doing this quick and dirty. Normally in our regular episodes, we cleanse the space. We're not doing that because we're not really doing any readings because we're dirty girls.
Yeah.
We are going to cleanse our bodies, though, with some fireball.
Yep. Here we go.
From the
The
womb
womb
to the tomb.
Okay, I'm better now.
A nice little shot.
All right, so do we do some quick blessings and curses?
Yeah, I think let's get through some little quick dirty blessings. Okay, I could go first.
Sure.
I would like to bless cats when they take their little steps. That little dainty step. But specifically then.
That's so true.
Picking their way around the clothes, you know?
Making their way downtown.
Making their way downtown.
If a cat's steps were piano
Yeah.
keys. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hannah.
I want to bless Kirsten Dunst.
Miss Kiki.
Kiki, she's given us so much and she asks for nothing in return.
Kiki Dee.
Kiki Dee, thank you for everything you do.
I'll let us never forget that she was spotted picking up food at Little Dom's, running in and grabbing her food at Little Dom's. Kiki Dee picking her way downtown.
Diddly-diddly-doo. Okay.
All right,
Curses.
I can go first.
I can go. Do you want me to go first on this one?
Yeah, you go
Okay.
first.
When Daniel Radcliffe in Harry Potter goes, "He was that friend," about Sirius Black. I hate that. I hate that moment. He was that friend. Bad acting. I love him. Bad acting.
Let's be clear. You hate the delivery and the context. You hate the scribe writing it, and you hate how it was shot.
Yes, and I hate. Was it Alfonso Cuarón
I believe so.
that directed that episode?
When they all have crazy hair,
Yeah, they all have crazy hair.
little teens.
And I love that movie. That's Prissy of Asgaby,
Yeah, I know. That's
But-
oh yeah.
right? When they're going, he's like snuck along on a field trip. It's like, "Hey, was that friend?" And it's like, babe, there was a war going on.
Yeah. Also, you're a child.
You're a child, and
You-
just no friend. I hate it.
Yeah. Would love to curse that with you. I'm going to curse when you're in the elevator alone, and then it stops and someone else gets on,
How dare you?
and you like think that it's your floor, and you do that weird. You also pick a little step to like go forward, like, oh, this is my exit, because you're like on your phone, and then someone's walking in, and you're like, oh.
Right, and you look like a fool.
Oh.
Because you're just like forward on one foot, and they're like, "What was this weirdo doing in the elevator by themselves?" And it's like, actually, babe, I thought I was getting off.
I was trying to step off the cliff that is my floor, babe. And you pushed me into the back of the, and now I'm in the back corner of the elevator.
I was here first.
And we're all both going one floor. Take the stairs.
Dude, hate it. Cursed.
Cursed.
Spit on them.
All right. Well, let's get into our first card, the first card of the deck.
The Fool.
The Fool. Hannah, you want to go ahead and give her a little description?
Yes. So, okay. So the tarot deck, a traditional tarot deck is kind of divided into two, really, I guess 5 sections technically. There's the major arcana, which is like this overarching narrative. It's like the hero's journey. And
Yes.
the Fool is the hero. And then there are 4 suits, the pentacles, wands, cups, and swords. And those are the minor arcana. We'll get into those at some point. But the major arcana, they're significant cards. They represent big life events, big people, they're huge.
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 They tend to also sort of dominate the readings when they're in the readings.
Mhm.
Sorry, my cat Hunk is attacking me.
He's going crazy.
He said, "These little feet," and then proceeded to try to shred me.
"Oh, these little feet?
Oh, these little feet? You're talking you blessing these little feet? No, thank you.
Dickie does have tiny little feet.
I do.
She has tiny little delicate Judy Garland feet.
Hooves.
No, I have big old like fucking griffin like huge feet.
What was that? Like Muffy, the one that like helped people like learn the English language when we were kids.
Just say I love you. Yes. Yeah. I have muffy feet.
No, I'm not trying. I'm going with the bit, and I
Okay.
disagree with the notion. The opposite of your curse. The I love
Hypocrite.
the execution. I hate the thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
But speaking of major arcana and how they can dominate a spread, and the Fool too can sort of be, I would say, main character energy for
Yeah.
the tarot deck. The idea is that we're starting anew.
Yes.
The number in the major arcana are all numbered as well, and this number is actually 0.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little 0, and it's interesting too that it tends to, in an overarching way, mean a clean slate,
Mm-hmm.
a new era,
Mm-hmm.
a new beginning, I would say. How about-
Definitely. A sort of like fearlessness.
Yeah. Into the breach once again, dear friend.
Yes. And the number, it's numbered 0, which is like, it's also a divine number. There's
Yeah.
nothing, it's like, it's very childlike that way. It's like, it's not been impressed. It's not been imprinted
Yeah.
by this toilet world. It's pure. And it's like, why wouldn't I go into the world with an open heart?
Right.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. 0 is closer to a concept than it is a number.
Wow. Oh, damn. That was so cool.
Thank you. Yeah. What is a concept if not a 0 in waiting? Well, do you want to describe the actual card for those that don't have it in front of them at home?
Yes. So the Fool, and I'm looking at just the classic Rider-Waite-Smith deck, is a person. I would call it an NB friend.
I would say an NB friend.
In a sort of exuberant, flamboyant dress,
Youthful.
youthful, very youthful, looking up towards the sky with their little bindle. They're holding a white rose, and they're about to step off a cliff.
In these little yellow stocky shoes.
Cute. It's giving indie sleaze. They're like wearing little tights and these like little Peter Pan boots. They're about to go.
indie sleaze.
Cobra Snake's gonna take their picture at the underground
Pixie
passion
Geldof
pit.
is waiting.
Pixie Geldof is like on her razor, being like, "Where the WTF are you, babe?" Alexa Chung stood me up, and I'm waiting outside of
Like-
whatever the hot club was in like 2008.
It's like we weren't there, so we don't know.
We weren't. No,
We weren't there. I was a mere
I
child.
was just a little baby.
I was inside a bindle myself.
But this person's about to step off the cliff. They have their little dog, their little companion with them.
A little white
A
dog.
little white dog, and these mountains in the background that I think are sort of symbolic of the journey to come.
Yes. And yeah, I think too there's a sun in the corner that is shining its rays, and the overall color of the background is yellow, and his little tunic has flowers on it as well. A very like little exuberant dress. One of the things I came across in my research about the card was them describing this character as a prince from another realm, which I really liked, because it's as if it's not always like brand new your baby. It could
Right.
be just truly starting over, like you're in a new era, as Taylor Swift would encourage us to think of it.
Oh my God, is this a Siddhartha character? Right? Kind
Yeah.
of like a Buddhist, because the
Yes.
Buddha was a prince and he kind of gave everything up
Yes, I think so.
and went on his jarn.
on Sojourn. And it's interesting too, because we can get into it a little bit deeper, but the dog on the card as well can be seen as both a companion that is trying to warn, or perhaps encouraging, or maybe even chasing off the cliff. It can be seen in different ways, but it seems the fact that there is also an animal on the card, some of these cards have animals on them, and they tend to mean sort of a guidance, spiritual sort of connection outside of the human realm sometimes.
Cool. Yeah. It's a very optimistic but uncertain
Yes.
card. And I think I love Otherworldly Prince. To me, that ties into its astrological connection of Aquarius.
Oh, yes.
So it's like it's associated with the sign of Aquarius, the planet Uranus, and the element of air. So Uranus is all about eccentricity, unpredictable change, rebellion, and like a universal consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And so that feels very natural to me. And that reminds me of your sister, Kelsey, who's in Aquarius. And in one of her readings with Carolyn Swift, who is a really cool psychic,
The
medium, guiding circle, get a reading from her. She rocks. But
yeah, she rules.
She told Kelsey that like basically like she was royalty, or she had been royalty a lot in her past lives and from other realms. And that makes a lot of sense, because I feel like Kelsey operates under her own sort of
Her own, not even rules, but like universe, right? Like gravity doesn't even really apply to her. You know what's funny is actually this character, the Fool, being Aquarius, and Kelsey is forever falling downstairs. She's forever tripping and eating shit downstairs. I have caught her. She's my little sister, and we have like famous stories where I've caught her falling downstairs. I've run over and heard her rolling, barrel rolling down the stairs, and she's always like, "Woo!"
she's a cerebral gal.
And she, you know why? She's looking up. She's the same.
Yes.
She's in her thoughts. She's not in her feet.
No,
She is not. She's definitely not grounded. And but it's one of her greatest qualities.
exactly. I don't know anyone with a brain like Kelsey's.
No, you know that TikTok where it's like the True Detective clip of like, I just want you to forever stop saying odd shit, and that be Aquarius.
Yes.
And I do think too, there's something about the Fool being someone who, is he about to step off the cliff? Is that great? We also can't really even see if it's implied that it's a deep, long fall,
Right.
but maybe it's not, you know, and is that not just part of the journey?
Yeah.
And when you start something new, I saw another TikTok that really, after we were talking about, we were going to do this, and really reminded me of the Fool, where it was talking about the heart of confidence is trying, because then once you've done it a little bit, even if you eat shit, you earn a little piece of confidence, whether you're good or bad. It's the act of doing it as opposed to doing it well. And I do think the Fool encourages you to go.
Yeah.
Although sometimes in reverse can be a little bit of a warning, like maybe maybe listen to some warnings around you, but it's never saying stop. I would say.
Yeah, absolutely.
I in one of my readings too, someone was like, and the ugly outfit he's wearing is a sign of confidence, like to just do what you want. And I was like, the ugly outfit.
Ugly. I like it.
I would wear that little
I would
house
wear it.
robe. Yeah,
I think it's cute.
he has a feather in his cap. Like he be in costume.
Yes, that person's jealous,
I agree.
because it's I think there's a card about this is a very dance like no one's watching.
Yeah.
I Hope You Dance would be the song that the Fool's favorite song is. I Hope You Dance.
I hope you dance. I danced to that with my grandfather once. Sorry, I'm a Cancer. Sorry, have to do that. Had to say it. Another that this can be a real card of luck. luckiness. Like, look, he's fine, but luck will carry him through, and that there's something about the fortune favors the bold to this card. I would also say you're living in the moment. It will all work out. Sometimes falling can be the best thing to happen to you.
Yeah, it's always the beginning of something new.
Yeah.
This is a card about new beginnings, and it is very optimistic.
Hannah, what would you say if we pulled this in like a love reading?
I guess it depends on the placement in the
True.
in the spread. If I pulled this card,
Say like you pulled it for representing like the other person,
right, someone's love interest. I don't know. That would put me back on my heels a little bit.
I'd be a little cautious.
Yes, I wouldn't say this person is a bad or like something like beware, but it's like this person is maybe a little bit either ideal. If I pulled this for you as a potential love interest for you, I would say like I'd like Dickie. This person I think is optimistic, childlike, things that are fun and cool, but I would be like, I don't know. I think they maybe have rose-colored glasses on a little bit.
Yeah.
Or maybe idealize you or the situation are a little too much. Or they're like kind of flighty and not dependable.
Flighty is what I've got in my head. Yeah, I would say someone who's maybe thinking a little bit more, well, let's say not with their head, and not necessarily with their nether regions, but maybe with just, leaping before they look.
Yeah.
And kind of like maybe might not inexperienced in, again, not a sexual way, but just truly like.
Yeah, maybe they've just gotten out of a crazy breakup or something.
Yes.
And it's like they haven't been dating in a while. So like not a
or
deal
you're serial
breaker.
Monogamist, maybe.
Yes. Not necessarily a deal breaker, but I would proceed with caution with this person. I almost kind of like to meet them where they're at and be like, or not meet them where they're at, but kind of compensate almost in a way.
Yeah.
Be more cautious than they're being reckless.
Yeah, and maybe the dog barking would be a little bit the red flags.
Yes.
Like listen to the barks.
Yeah, listen to the barks.
What is he woofing?
Yes.
Another thing I came across in research was hear my papers was that in early cards this was kind of almost seen as a madman, a madman, but madness can be directly tied to spiritual enlightenment as well. And I think there's something with love and how it is akin to spiritual enlightenment and these things where we fall into these moments for us, into these states of being.
Right.
And that, maybe I could also see it as something as the beginning of something big. Maybe it's not necessarily good or bad.
Right.
But the beginning of a thing, a journey you need to learn from.
Yes. Cool. I love that.
Clownery.
A
little bit of a clown. In that ugly outfit.
I'd also see too about like the Fool and, since you brought it up, clowns, like, back in olden times, where court
2008.
Back in 2008, court jesters were the only ones like allowed to speak truth to power.
Yes.
Because it was a joke. But they were the only ones that could be like make jokes in front of the king and queen that were a little bawdy or critical, but they were like they had impunity.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I think it's like the kind of fortune favors the bold, that sort of like laying yourself bare without embarrassment in a weird way protects you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would even say too that there's something even in the love reading, like, in the game where you're wearing all these crazy peacock things and you're negging and you're kind of like saying some things, but it actually makes someone like you even a little bit more too.
Right. Yeah.
Then maybe there's a little bit of that element to the Fool as well. But definitely a little speaking the truth.
Yes.
In a way. And maybe that's also the barking of the dog in a way. Like you could hear this card when you look at it.
Yes.
And even with the sun, the way the sun is shining, it feels like auditory in a way. The clown, baby, a little mad clown.
Yes.
A haunted clown. I wrote this thing about otherness, that it's the otherness allows him to break the rules, embracing not just what is new, but what is odd, what is other, both inside and outside. And it is about like, sometimes crazy is a little good.
Yeah. That's how things change.
Yes.
That's how we break out.
That's how we get back to zero.
Yes.
Yeah. And then also too, just like this is the card that supposedly is going. The Fool is the one going on the journey through the arcane. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, the major arcana. So the Fool is 0, and then the card number 1 is the Magician. And so it's like every card, it's a progression. It's the Fool is going on this journey.
And is he like learning something from each of the cards as he goes?
Yeah, I think so. Like, are experiencing these people and these places, these events affect him.
Yes.
And he is sort of like, or she or they, whoever is the Fool or whoever is the Fool in the reading is like, it's going through these cycles. So it's not even necessarily like once you get to card 22, which is the World, which is the culmination of everything, then it's not even over. You just go back to 1. And this idea that everything is cyclical.
Yeah.
And so you're like constantly
Like a 0.
like a 0. The zero's a friggin' circle.
You know, and another thing I came across too was about how the tarot can mimic playing cards.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 suits.
Yes.
And your king, queens, and jacks.
Mm-hmm.
And that the Fool is equivalent to the Joker card.
Oh, that's, yes. What? Yeah, Joker, Fool, Clown.
Right.
Yeah,
and
of
that they are
course.
kind of like outside of, you usually take them out of the deck when you play.
Right.
And there's something about the Fool where he can almost, not that he's not considered, but sometimes the otherness, again, when you pull him, that he is a little bit,
He's
maybe
outside of the
viewing.
rule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
And then the last thing I would say that I wrote down about it was sometimes the Fool can mean inner child work,
Yeah.
just because of the youthfulness of the card, and 0 being such a low number, and just this idea of like starting over, that maybe there's something about like, okay, what is it that the inner child in you needs or wants to do,
Mm-hmm.
or never got to do, never got to go off this cliff, never
Right.
got to explore that area.
Right. Or the version of you that has no pride, no ego,
Yes.
and is just,
Ready.
yeah. That's really cool.
Mm.
And yeah, and that like there's an inner child in all of us, and I think it's also about like that sort of like divine like spark, or
Yes.
almost like godliness. Like, I think whether you're religious or not, I think it's like we all have something in us that ties us together, even if it's just our humanity. Like,
Yes. Also, it reminds me of how on the death card, which we'll get to eventually, the children see death.
mm-hmm.
And just like in Harry Potter, how they can see the, what are they called? The not nostrils, not vestrals.
The
horses.
the skelly horses.
Yeah, the little horse angels.
Yeah, if you've like seen death.
Then
Yeah.
you can see them. Yeah. And there's something about, the openness
Mm-hmm.
to, you believe in Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And that's what Jesus is. Comes once a year.
Comes but once a year.
On his birthday. But once.
But once. Speaking of Jesus, I also found this quote from that book that y'all's peoples like so much.
The Bible?
The Bible.
The King James Bible?
The King James Bible.
Donde es la Bible?
The foolishness of God is wiser than men.
Say that.
Say that.
Wow. Sometimes being Catholic is so cool. And cool being the 2 zeros from the Fool card.
You guys get to the cool Fool. You get to drink. You get to wear little plaid skirts to school.
We did.
Guys get to wear dresses
They
and slap you with rulers. It's cool.
Look,
The
sometimes your
stained glass.
your priest in Huntington Beach when you grow up, he surfs. Father Christian was a surfer.
Father Christian Slater.
Father Christian Slater.
Kelly Slater's
I-
brother, not
I
the
had
actor.
a huge crush on my priest. Father Christian Slater from Heathers,
Wow.
Gleaming the Cube,
So powerful.
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Talk about a fool.
Talk about a fool.
Yeah, little what's his name? Scarlet. Anyways,
Yeah.
that character
Yes.
who has a lot to learn.
Got a lot to learn. He's a little fool.
He's a little fool. Let's see. Ooh, 24 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 100 minutes once we put ads in here and start making money, Hannah.
I love that for me.
The 0 is good for us on that one. We really are starting out. Like, Chase Bank is the best bank for you. The Catholic Church is desperate for you.
Come on down and tithe.
Tithe 10% or whatever.
Yeah, big deal.
Yeah, I would say the other thing about the Fool too is she's one of the those cards we haven't pulled a lot, but like speaking about her in like a time in our lives, like you know, I think when we pull, especially for ourselves, the decks as they have gotten to know us are sort of like aware of the context of our own lives and like what's going on, and like I do really associate the Fool with like where we are with Tarot Show right now.
Yeah.
You know, like kind of like starting something new out. No idea if it's going to be off a cliff or not. And like Hunk is the little white dog. He's like biting the little wires hanging down off the table. And we're kind of just like starting a journey together.
Yeah.
But also that it's not like we're not babies. We're not starting out. It's just a new arena.
Yeah.
It's Hunger Games 2 Catching Fire. Because we've been doing the show on Instagram. We've done the show live and like, and every time it is like stepping off a cliff, you and me coming through the, I know, when that breathing we do backstage and then coming through
Feel crazy.
the curtain out onto the stage. But this is a whole new sort of area for us.
Yes.
And we got to go, and we're committed
Yes.
to doing it.
Yes. And I'm optimistic, but I also am scared, if I'm being fully honest, because it's also such a weird thing to just release something. Like when you go through the curtains on stage, you kind of immediately
At
know.
the UCB Theater.
Please don't think, first of all.
Don't think, do speak.
Don't think, do speak. You go through the curtains and people are like cheering, or they're not, or they're laughing, or they're not. You kind of immediately know.
Yeah.
And in something like this that's just released kind of into the void,
Yes.
you don't.
A big old zero.
Big old goose egg.
Number of listens, 0. 1 million.
1 mil. Yeah,
There's a 0 before the million.
there's gonna be 6 zeros.
There's always zeros before. Because don't forget, 0 is a concept, not a number.
Exactly. Wow. Have you seen The Matrix?
Wow, talk about zeros.
So yeah, it's a vulnerable, but exciting, but scary, but fun thing. And I'm glad I'm doing it with you, Dick.
Oh, I'm glad I'm doing it with you too, Hannah. Does the Fool sort of remind you of a time in your life, a time and place? Like sort of what context do you bring to the Fool when you see it?
Well, I'm always happy to see it because I think ultimately, again, it is like a good omen, even if it doesn't mean things are going to be great. Like, again, it's just optimistic little guy.
Yeah.
The Fool reminds me of moving in with you when my life went to shit and I literally came to you with my little bindle and I had no idea and I just had to trust.
Yeah.
I barely knew you.
That's true.
I was very vulnerable. I had negative money.
0.
I was going to, if it didn't work out with you, I would live in my car. I'd be couch surfing, living in my car.
The 0 reminds me too of how that engagement ring.
Yeah.
The cursed engagement ring.
I have a cursed engagement ring that lives in my room, and if I open the little door that's in, the Jumanji drums start, and then I put it away.
I tried to throw it off the deck and it washed back up.
Yeah, it will not leave.
It will not leave. Because when I remember writing you an email and being like, I'm not crazy. You can live with me. And you were like, and then I had to tell someone to tell you.
Yes.
Like, please tell her I'm not insane. I mean it. She can live here.
Yeah.
Which is funny because it was the month of October, right?
Yes, I think it was almost exactly.
Yes.
2016, and it's October 2023. So it's been 7 years. Exactly.
Our anniversary.
It's our 7-year anniversary.
Damn. Getting the itch.
Crazy.
Getting the itch to keep living.
Which I love. I need that.
Me too. Also too, I think, that was it was for both of us. It wasn't just you.
Yeah.
Started a new era for me as well. And really rewarded I wasn't even trying to be nice, just sort of had it, but I really got rewarded on that one.
Yeah, you did.
I got the money. I had a good roommate for 7 years. And we lived together through the pandemic.
Wow. We did such a good job with the pandemic.
Yeah, we did.
We freaked it.
We didn't get COVID during it. Not until the very end when we were like out and about again.
Yeah.
We got a little. The 0 is for our Omicron strain that we got.
Exactly.
That's what
we
I
got
think of when I
Omicron.
look on it. And it barely touched us.
And the little dog was like, "Don't go out yet." Not yet. And we're like, "It's fine, dog. We're vaccinated."
We're vaccinated. Shut up.
Shut up.
Let me go to the Greek. Let me get out.
I gotta go to the.
Let me go to a bar.
Yeah. What
I
about you?
You know, I honestly, any card that does have an animal on it, I do feel the same positive, COVID positive association. And I do think the dog really stands out to me. I mean, we haven't really talked so much about the white rose as well, but they're both white, you know, and the sun is white on it as well. And the mountain range in the back that you mentioned sort of can stand for like what is to come. And maybe, but how big you think it might be, but it might not actually be. You just got to do what's in front of you, you know?
Right.
And I really just associate the Fool with like, I do think that moment coming on stage, like, cause he looks so like he's singing
Yeah.
in a way. And you know, like when you start a karaoke song and you're like, it's just gonna be good or bad, especially if one cannot sing like myself, and the O looks like a little O, or the 0 at the top of the card. I mean,
Or our NuvaRing.
yeah, a NuvaRing.
Just kidding. But yes, you're stepping out.
Stepping out, starting.
Yes.
Yeah, it feels very green light go, and I do think too the yellow background really. Also, you know, my favorite card is the sun card.
Yes.
And the sun shines so brightly in this. It does really feel like morning. So that's sort of what I see with the Fool is like when you're on a new team, you know, or the beginning of a party and the first person walking through the door. And you're like, that feeling, you know, you have had it. We've thrown a lot of parties here and it's like, here we go. The party is now we're no longer pre-gaming. It's happening.
Yeah.
You kind of go through the door.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts on the Fool?
No, I think we did a pretty good job. She's ruffling through her papers.
My notes.
Her notes. Her research.
Like Andy Cohen when he dropped my cards. Oh, my card. James Kennedy. DJ James Kennedy.
Why'd you do that?
Oh, my cards. Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps her up.
I love that.
Huh?
We did it.
We did it. Wow, we jumped off the cliff.
We jumped off the cliff.
All right, everyone. Well, nice little half hour. Sort of mini for us.
Mini for us.
And mini for you, as in many of them.
Oh.
Because what are there, 78 cards?
Yeah, there's 78 of these fucking bad boys.
Well, 77 now.
Wow.
77 minus 0. Do that math. Just kidding. Minus the 0 card. Okay, I don't have to explain it. Like, what a way to end it.
On the didgeridoo.
Wow. We have one at my parents' house.
Oh my God, can you play it?
Yeah, but it's so funny because you want to. It's so heavy. I've never done it. It's like that throat. Like, you know what? We don't need to get into this. We could just wrap
the
up.
didgeridoo throat goat. Okay. Anyway, on that note,
That's the animal on the card. All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging with us.
we're with you
From the womb to the tomb.